Watch.
There's been reason to think that this country is moving backward, that freedom is being reduced, that rights we assumed were protected are no longer. A reminder that we remain in an ongoing battle for the soul of America, as we have for over 200 years. I know it can be exhausting and unsettling, but tonight, I want you to know we're going to get through all of this.
So not so cheery a message on the 4th of July, striking a tone at the White House that might be more partisan than most are used to on Independence Day. Mark Penn, former Clinton pollster and advisor. Kellyanne Conway, former Trump advisor. Hello to both of you. Mark, you begin this time. I took that comment as a direct reference to the Supreme Court decisions over the past 2 weeks. What did you hear?
Oh, I think it obviously was a swipe at the Supreme Court and suggesting that the Supreme Court was removing constitutional rights, and to say that on Independence Day, of course, when the country declared the inalienable rights of people against the tyranny in Great Britain. So, look, I thought it was a weird message. I think we're in the month of Top Gun, a bit of a return to basic patriotism. You know, I think he could have been more upbeat and yet still, made some reference to the court, but not made it really his central message on July 4th.
Great film, by the way. Go see it, Top Gun. I'm telling you. I know Kellyanne has seen it. Kellyanne, I've been trying to read between the lines on the polling that's been done since the Roe v. Wade decision came out. And the ones that I have seen still overwhelmingly reflect on the economy and inflation, and the issue of abortion is way down the list. What do you find so far on that?
There's no question that both pro-lifers and pro-choicers will be energized this fall, as I think will be gun-grabbing activists and pro-Second Amendment people as well. But you're right. The central theme for all Americans in everybody's polling is unmistakably the economy, and more specifically, Bill, inflation. So when Joe Biden, our president, talks about freedom, he has to understand people feel like he has removed their financial freedom because they are suffering every time they go to pay for something. Obviously, July 4th, travel was more of a hassle and more expensive. But back to the theme of his message, I don't understand when presidents talk about moving backward, depressing us right into an economic depression. You know, the 6 presidents between Carter and Biden all gave speeches that appealed to our better angels, that were uplifting and optimistic. Biden sounds a lot like Jimmy Carter's famous Malaise speech, and he neither demonstrates competence nor inspires confidence in the American people. And this is the time they need to hear it. Look, his approval ratings, of course, are a disaster, but when you read between the lines of those, you see that June to June, his approval rating has gone from 52% to 38%. But it's the intensities that really caught my eye. +8 in the number of people who strongly approve, -8 in the number of people who strongly approve of his job performance, and +10 in the number of Americans who strongly disapprove. So if you're facing those kinds of headwinds, what you do is you try to inspire people and say, look, these are rough waters. We're Americans. We can do this. We can be resilient and optimistic. Instead, he's warning us about, quote, going backward.
Yeah, it's almost buck up, right? I mean, that's Penn's message, Top Gun. Quickly, I want to roll this clip and I have a ton of time. Gavin Newsom ran an ad in Florida directed at Ron DeSantis. Watch.
Freedom, it's under attack in your state. I urge all of you living in Florida to join the fight, or join us in California, where we still believe in freedom.
Okay, and it goes on from there. Mark Penn, quickly, less than a minute on both of you.
Great political stunt. Yeah. Great political stunt, got him national attention for $100,000 of airtime. We're playing it here. I think he obviously has some national ambitions.
Kellyanne, how do you see it?
There's no question it's a political stunt, but Newsom needs DeSantis to make himself relevant. It's not like people like the way he handled COVID or homelessness or crime or really freedom. The irony is so many Californians, including from the tech sector there, have moved to Miami and Austin. They've gone to red states. They've gone to Ron DeSantis's Florida state. I don't think picking at a popular Republican governor who's been for freedom will make Newsom any more relevant. The last thing is, if I'm a Newsom donor, I'm upset that you spent $105,000 on ads in Florida. But look, bottom line, people are suffering right now, Bill and Mark, and who's worried about today? Joe Biden's talking about moving backward. Newsom is looking forward past Joe Biden into 2024 and beyond. I want people to focus on today.
And we'll see when that happens. Kellyanne, thank you.